Acer recently launched the newest device in their Predator Helios lineup, and this time it's a giant 17.3-inch beast of a gaming laptop called the Predator Helios 500. Now, they were kind enough to let me borrow it, so I figured I'd try to do one of my complete walkthroughs. If you're not familiar, a complete walkthrough on this channel is where I try to go through every feature I possibly can on a new device so that you guys are better prepared should you be in the market to buy one. Now, with that said, we have a lot to go through as always, so let's get started with the hardware. In normal Acer Predator fashion, this thing isn't subtle about being a gaming laptop. Just look at those vents. Oh, and then check out the Predator logo on the back and the RGB colored keyboard, which has 4 zones that you can independently customize using the included software, by the way. The screen is a 17.3-inch IPS display available in either 1080p with a 144Hz refresh rate and G-Sync, or a 4K version that is simply slated as coming soon. Now, because of that screen size, it's not a light laptop, of course, weighing 8.8 pounds, and of course, it's also not small. But that large chassis does afford a lot of room for things inside the laptop. Now, there are 2 models currently available. You can choose between an Intel Core i7 processor and an Intel Core i9 processor that Acer has unlocked for you to be able to overclock it if you want using their included software. The i7 model comes with a 1TB HDD and a 256GB SSD for faster performance of apps and games installed on the SSD, while other files can be stored on the hard drive that doesn't require the extra read-write speed. And the i9 comes with a 2TB hard drive and a 512GB SSD. Now, beyond that, the two share the rest of their specs, which includes 16 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 1070 that is overclockable, 4 exhaust vents and 2 intake vents along the 5 heat pipes and 2 dual all-metal fans. We have a precision touchpad, thankfully, that is blue light illuminated. We have 5 dedicated hotkeys, 2 speakers, and 1 subwoofer for 2.1 sound, 2 internal mics, and a 720p front-facing webcam above the screen. For ports, we have not 1, but 2 Thunderbolt 3 USB 3.1 USB-C ports. We have 3 USB 3.0 ports, 1 with power delivery, by the way, 1 display port, 1 HDMI 2.0 port, a gigabit Ethernet port, a headphone jack, the DC in power port, and a Kensington lock, which is used to lock the computer to a desk in a shared work environment, for example. For connectivity, we have Killer Double Shot Pro Wi-Fi 802.11ac with 2x2 MIMO, which means that it has 2 antennas for receiving and 2 for transmitting data over Wi-Fi, which increases speed and reliability. And we have Bluetooth 5.0. And one last thing to note about the hardware before we dive into the performance and battery life is located on the bottom. It's these screws, actually. These allow you to remove the bottom of the laptop to reveal the 2 RAM memory slots that you can use to put in your own RAM, up to a maximum supported 64 gigs of RAM, which is nuts. You can also access the SSDs and the hard drives this way, so you're able to upgrade those if you want as well. Now, powering this whole thing is a 4810 milliamp battery, which is tiny, frankly, and only 810 milliamps more battery than what's in the Note 9, to put that into perspective. And as such, it's only rated to last 3.5 hours, which we'll test in a second. So needless to say, you sacrifice portability and battery life in favor of performance, ports, and storage. Now, let's just see how much battery life and performance we really get with some real-world tests. First up, I use these type of computers to edit video on because gaming and video editing require the same resources basically, so these are generally great editing machines. So for this test, I'll render a video out and see how long that takes compared to other laptops in this price range. Now, let's run 3D Mark's Firestrike benchmark so you guys can use that to compare it against other laptops you might be looking at and see how that does. And finally, let's play a video looping in full screen and see how long the battery lasts. And there you go. I think that this laptop is really for somebody that wants something that is a big, powerful gaming machine, but doesn't really care if it's that portable. Like, this kind of a laptop, because of the battery life, you're really gonna have to have it be plugged in most of the time. But the benefit to this laptop is, one, you have that much larger screen if that's something that you want. Also, it's upgradable a lot. and it comes with a ton of storage and a bunch of other reasons. Also, compared to all those other laptops that I just showed, it is a little bit cheaper. It starts at $2,000 for the i7. The model that I have here, the i9, is $2,500, and while that doesn't sound cheap, it is still a decent chunk cheaper than all of those other laptops I just showed. There you guys, hope you enjoyed this complete walkthrough. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the walkthrough, about this laptop, etc. Always love to hear from you guys. If you like this video though, please thumbs up it or share it, it's greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to check out my channel if you like what you see there. Hit subscribe and hit the bell next door to subscribe so you get notified when I do new videos. As always though, regardless, thanks for watching.